Matthew Klaushofer. I'm a family therapist, but I was on the CBT therapy pathway. Well, I would actually say having training in a really good evidence-based practice, particularly with young people with disorders where my normal training doesn't reach, so particularly for anxiety disorders. And I think the value-added bit about the London Collaborative was we had lecturers from the National Mood Disorders Clinics in the Maudsley, so a lot of the training that we received was actually based on cutting-edge RCTs, and so it actually felt we were having really, in a sense, in some ways, world-class training. It was nothing to do with the course itself, but it was around the IT equipment, and although we were recommended to have iPads early on, I think for the trust that I worked in, it took a while for the iPads to be delivered. In fact, not really until the end of the second and beginning of the third term did actually have functioning equipment. So one advice would be for potential new candidates is to really make sure you've got the IT equipment nailed down, metaphorically if not literally, and get on board your trust and your trust IT people to really commit early on and make sure it's very focused and project managed early on. So that would be my advice for future. Well, I mean, the actual CBT way of working, and in my work, if I'm doing CBT, I do CBT, I don't just sort of mix and match. So actually I follow a process through and I add that to the outcome measures and the collaborative working. So I've used the full package, so I think integrating it all, I think is probably the most useful thing. Well, the main advice would be to make sure if you need IT equipment, AV equipment, to actually make sure that's really nailed down with your IT department and your trust that they're actually going to do what they say they're going to do, and make sure it's very clear even before the course has started. And I'd also say to people actually start getting ready and have cases identified and even start to begin the thinking about the working before the course has started, or even early on really, so that you can make sure that you have enough cases all the way through and not left kind of trying to scrabble around to find cases near the end of the course. I mean, I would say it's definitely worth it. I've got no regrets about doing it. I would say just another top tip would be you've been given protected time to do the course, including the study time, including during the holidays from the college course. So I'd say use that time and keep it. Don't let work intrude, and really plan, if you've got assignments to do, really actually map out when you're going to do them and be really business-like about it, and it'll be very manageable. I mean, I did no work in my own time. I didn't take any work home in the evenings or weekends. I managed to do it all in the study time I was given, and it's, in my view, it's doable if you're quite strategic about it early on and plan what you're doing. I found them quite doable, again for the reason that I said, that I actually used the study days I was given and really sort of planned what am I going to do which day, and I was even quite strategic that if I have so many words I have to write, I would write 500 before lunchtime and not give myself lunch until I've written 500, and another 500 afterwards. I know it sounds quite sort of behavioural, but it worked for me. I think certainly, I mean, different courses may be done differently. I mean, with our course we had a lot of assignments all bunched up at one particular time, so because I could see that coming further down the line, then I sort of planned for it some months in advance really. So I think if you're aware of bottlenecks of having assignments to hand in all at one go, don't leave it all to the last minute, but really sort of start thinking about it early on. The CBT at IAPT, Institute of Psychiatry, all the lectures were really good. I mean, I think same with the core skills, although personally I think probably some of the lectures could have been done in fewer days really, particularly around the evidence-based practice stuff. It was all good stuff, but maybe it could have been less time for the core skills so that we could actually start our CBT or our treatment lectures earlier on and got the work done sooner rather than later. I mean, I think this afternoon has actually been really interesting just because of all the different ideas of integrative practice that I can see going on. I think it's going to take me a while to kind of let those ideas percolate. So maybe possibly even having ideas for future sort of follow-up days like this every so often, every few months, just to touch base so you don't lose the momentum.